Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Recipe with Dr. Stepheny Finnie. It is my hope that through each segment, you will receive ingredients to live your best life. One seasoning I'm personally passionate about is in the area of health and wellness. In fact, I host an Instagram Live on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time titled, Do You Know What's in Your Feminine Care? But I will speak more about this at the end of the show. As always, and today is no exception, I have another special guest. Not only is she a wife and a mother, she is also a credit and financial literacy consultant. Welcome, Mrs. Charmaine Santos, to the recipe. Hello, Ms. Santos.
I'm sorry. Hi, how are you? It's good
I'm
to be
good.
on.
Great, great. Welcome to the recipe.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Please take some time and tell everyone more about who you are, what you do, and why.
Okay, so I am basically I'm an independent agent for a company um, that is that deals with financial literacy, and started the journey about 2 years ago when my husband and I were in the process of trying to get our credit together and our finances together. And he's a veteran, and so he had a veteran loan, and what it was is that he couldn't utilize the loan, and it was based on a simple fact that his credit score was just not enough in order for him to be approved. And so we battled with the journey of going through the process of trying to figure out how we were going to get through that scenario of trying to get our credit together. And then he actually met someone who was in the field of real estate, and he was telling him to look into this company. And the company he had was talking about, he introduced to me. And as husband and wives, you talk about certain things, but I was very, very skeptical at first. I, quickly said, let's just think about it. Let's not be so hasty. And so I thought about it. And if you're a person of prayer, Stephanie, which I know you are, I literally prayed about the situation because I knew that they were going to know a lot of our financial information as well as our personal information. I wanted to make sure it was someone we could trust. And so when I did my research, I finally went ahead and I told my husband, let's go ahead and join it. How bad could it be? We had a low score. Who's going to steal a 500 credit score? What are they going to do with it? Really? And so we were trying to protect our little rinkety little credit scores. But anyway, we went ahead and went ahead and signed up with the company. And we didn't come in as people just trying to get our credit together. We saw that there was an opportunity to also have a little income, extra income coming in, which was going to help towards the purchase of our home. And so we went ahead and dived right into that. And I would say about 30 to 45 days, we started seeing certain things on our credit come off. So I said, this is an amazing program because I said that was rather quick because I've done my own credit and try to do things on my own with it. And I never saw results that came back permanently in a way where they were removed and so fast. And so from there, things just kept changing for us. We started becoming closer and closer to our goal, and we went ahead and pushed through and applied with I went ahead and called a lender, got approved for a home. That was a game changer for us because I wasn't taught financial literacy in my home. My parents didn't talk about those types of things. We didn't have financial conversations and meetings and things like that. My husband too, his family didn't have, discussions like that. So we didn't know how to manage our money, but this company helped us to manage our money, and it helped us to obtain home ownership, which is American dream for so many people. And so when we were able to go ahead and be approved for that, that's when we were like, okay, we're going to have to help people to do the same thing because this whole situation has changed the trajectory of our family. What more can it do? It could also do the same thing, but it could probably do even more for many other families. So we became passionate and we became driven to help out as many people as we could. And sometimes when certain information is out there, some people won't share it. And so I wanted to share it as with as many people as I could, especially if it was good information. And I was also a person that used the program. So that was the start. That was the initial start of everything.
That is amazing. I
Hmm.
love that. So you're not just a person that is telling us about, this program. You are a customer of this program.
Hmm. Most definitely. Most definitely. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Well, you mentioned, okay, you came into this and excuse me,
Hmm.
you came into this program and you were kind of leery because you said, they're going to have all of our information. So that leads me to the question, as
Hmm.
a credit and
Hmm.
financial literacy consultant,
Hmm.
how do you protect a client's information and maintain confidentiality? Because people really are, on that now with everything that's going on with scams and so forth.
Most definitely. Well, yeah, because of the pandemic, it's been a surge of people having a lot of issues and being sued left and right. And typically, it's from the credit bureaus. They will sometimes put things on your credit that's inaccurate. They actually get paid to do so. That's the interesting thing about the credit bureaus. People run to them thinking that they are here to protect us because they are known to know our credit and so forth. But they are actually just a company that's used to put inaccuracies and you know so many different other things that are in wrong on our credit, just delinquency type just you name it. And so when it comes down to that, uh a protection is something that most people are going to have a struggle to find, when it comes to finding the right company to choose. Because if you're just doing it all by yourself and you're not leveraging with the laws that are in place, you know, it's going to be very difficult. And so I love the fact that with our company, we have laws that are in place to protect us. And that's what most consumers don't know. They don't know that there are laws out there to help you and to protect your information and to also rectify the things that are on your credit. Yeah. So
Okay.
that is one of the things. And we're heavily regulated by the FTC. So, and we leverage with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And most of the time, people don't know what that is, but everybody that deals with finances would know that the FTC is the Fair Trade Commission, and so they are also they are heavy partnered with us. We're pretty much heavily regulated by them because they also too are they strive to make sure that things are on your credit the right way and accurate, and that there are no obsolete or inefficiencies on your credit report. So when you're with a company like that, you feel protected, you feel like, okay, they have my back. And so it's always something that people feel comfortable with when they go ahead and they sign up to get their credit services done, because we are if you're not satisfied, your money is guaranteed back. And also, yeah, and also, when it comes to um payment standards and things like that, they work with you. I mean, it's a really great company, but that's just the credit side of it. Um, we have 12 services that are with our company. Um, as regards to we have credit restoration, budgeting. We have even a will and trust for customers who don't have a will and trust. And so yeah, and I know we're going to touch upon those 12 services, but that's just a couple of things that we have along with the 12 services that we are able to provide.
Okay.
Mhm.
What is the name of this company? Let's
So,
just put that out there.
mhm. So yeah, so the name of our company is FES. It's called Financial Educational Services. And so we're a financial literacy company. We actually not only help you and provide you with help with your credit, but we're also helping you with the financial literacy of um, what is entailed into your credit. So basically, most people are like, well, I can fix your credit, I can get it together. That's great. But how are you going to keep me, on the path of becoming financial literate in the sense of like knowing what not to do, what to do, how to pay my credit card down. Should I use all my, as soon as I get a credit card, should I just leave it? Should I use it? How much percentage should I use? A lot of people don't know that. You would think some people would know that you want a credit card, and things like that. But some people don't even know that they have to use it in order to allow it to show on your credit good, pretty much like it tracks your usage. So as much as you use your credit card, the more your credit score is going to go up, and paying it on a certain time frame. Some people don't even know those simple things. And so we teach you all of that through our company. And we have like a comprehensive package that shows you step by step, pretty much all of our services by video, because some people are visual. Some people would rather just see things instead of reading things. So we have all videos that are with our services, and we have a free portal that comes with your services. So you can watch those services 24/7, doesn't matter. And some people like having things right at their fingertip, especially on your phone, because we are so much, we use our phone for everything, right? So when you're going on your phone and you're like, oh my, I want to find out, something about my credit, that video I just watched about budgeting or how to pay off this debt when it comes to my student loan. How am I going to be able to do that? You just grab your phone, you go to our website, you pull it up, and you're able to see everything you need to know. In case you might want to have just the jogging, the information jog through your brain to just kind of refresh what you already kind of have in front of you. But sometimes people don't have that time, but it is so convenient to have it right at your fingertips, right on a website that you can always access. So yes, it's just if nothing else, it just, like I said, our company has been around since 2005. So they've been around for about 15 years, same founders. They haven't changed. With the recession changing, you might meet presidents and CEOs that are coming and going frequently because this pandemic, it's probably happened to a lot of companies. A lot of companies have went belly up. A lot of companies have went bankrupt, but we still have the same founders who started the company. And even with this recession that has, you could say, economic recession, that we've been through, they are still in place. They are still operating the company, and they have been so instrumental in helping keep us abreast with so many things when it comes to our company, and helping us stay abreast with, the public and customers, and even helping us as agents to stay, relatively, on a, very firm foundation when it comes to credit, because certain things change, and so they always are keeping us in tune. So I do appreciate that. Working for a company like them.
I like the education piece. That's
Hmm.
key for me because
Hmm.
especially when it comes to money, and you mentioned too, you said, I didn't have parents that taught me about money and finances. I'm sure that can
Hmm.
be said the same for many people. So a lot
Hmm.
of people want to be educated, and when you educate people, that also makes them feel more comfortable to use your services because you're not just saying, "Oh, buy this and do this." You're actually explaining why you should do these things.
Most definitely, yes. And that helps because, some people feel ashamed about their credit, and they feel ashamed that they're not able to know what to do with their money. But we help them to appreciate. And my one of my senior partners, Alyssa Barnes, who's like one of our, she basically is one of my very, she's our mentor. She's a mentor to my team here in Atlanta, and she always lets us know that, let people know that they shouldn't be ashamed to talk about their credit score. It's not their fault. Some situations happen where because of this pandemic, a lot of people, like we were just mentioning, they're being sued. But they're being sued because of what? They were working, but their job bellied up because of the economy. So they're being sued in regards to getting their car taken away, their house taken away, or their credit card. They're having to use it to feed their family. So some of the financial issues that our people are going through, it's not of any fault of their own. Sometimes it's just circumstances. And when circumstances come about and you have no control over it, the first thing you start to do is panic. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to feed my family? And if you don't have an emergency fund to have money put to the side, and sometimes you can have that and that's still not enough. And so when it comes down to our knowing how to be better, know what to do in cases that are like emergency cases, or cases that are unforeseen to us that happen, at least you have something in front of you, that you have a blueprint, that will show you and guide you. And that just, helps things to go so much easier, when, helps you to kind of get through the situation a little bit more in a more of a planning type of situation, more or less a hasty one where you're just making decisions and you're just using your money and you're just throwing, bank, charging your credit card and doing things like that. So, you know, when you have things planned out, it better equips you on what to do in case of an emergency. So this pandemic has helped a lot of people with since we've went through this whole pandemic. So many people have come to us for our services. Granted that, because of the simple fact that this pandemic has left them financially, in some unpredictable situations, we've helped so many people, get out of those things in a much easier and faster way than what they would have assumed to have been. So I definitely can say that it is something that we need more education on. We need to talk about we need to talk more about finances. We need to talk and have more conversations with our children. It's interesting because our company provides that. They have an FMLA, which is like a program that helps give money back to schools to educate children on financial literacy. Um, all of that is in my website, but it breaks it down how our money is donated to that, and how every time someone signs up for our services, that money goes to that charity or to that fund. Yes, so it's you know you don't know until you kind of like stumble upon information like this. You're able to talk about or have conversations with others, and you find that there are things out there that are that can change everything financially for you. And it's been like that for the last 2 years, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to know that I'm able to help out so many people. And the list goes on and on. It's like countless people, that I come in contact with, and so it always makes me feel good. And then when you're giving back, it's always a blessing, because when you're helping someone out financially, get out of Section 8, or let's just say get a home, a homeless veteran, because that's what my husband was. He was a homeless veteran, you could say, in a way, because we were renting and we were on Section 8 too, on top of that. And we literally changed the trajectory for our children. Our children are not going to be passed down any of those things, because we're teaching them how to better finance their money and their credit now. Hmm.
I love that. I love that because we need a generational shift within our
We sure do.
community. We need
Hmm.
that. And we need to be able to teach those, and let them see as well. This is what we went through to get here, but this is how we
Hmm.
got better. This is how things, got better for us. This is what we use. These are the tools. You can do the same. You don't have to go through what we went through. Learn from what
Absolutely.
we are doing. The Bible says learn and live. We think we're supposed
Hmm.
to live and learn, but the Bible says learn and live. So your
Absolutely.
children are able to learn and live because you lived and learned.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I know I had there was a saying that I heard or yeah, it was a saying that I heard on the lines of when you know better, you do better. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I was thinking about more in depth when it comes to going when you trying to how can I say when you're trying to raise up your standards of life and things that you want, things will become very hard, because you're changing something that most people are not going to take a chance on. They're like, "Oh, sometimes they're like, oh, well, my credit's looking kind of bad, but I'm okay, you know. But when it comes down to it, it's not about just living with the fact that your credit is a certain way, but when it comes down to trying to get yourself to the next level, whether that's a house or low interest rate on something, and you're trying to change those things, seems like you'll hit stumbling blocks. And I noticed that you do have to pray yourself up out of a situation, um, in regards to knowing more, and so knowing more on what you should do. So I have to say that it's important to put prayer into the perspective as to what you're trying to do, even with your finances. There's nothing wrong with asking for help to in direction on that. But when it comes down to is like once you find out the answer to that, don't be afraid of walking that path because you have to have that faith to walk that path, to doing better because you know better now. um, but yeah, definitely. I'm a big believer in self. When you are a person that is trying to change your situation, you have to change you first. And
That's right.
your mindset has to change.
That's
Because
right.
if I stayed in the mindset of thinking, okay, my credit is a certain way, or I'm okay with being on Section 8, or my husband's okay with not utilizing his VA loan, we could have been stuck in that mindset and never changing anything, never having the faith to change anything. And then we would have left a legacy of children thinking that same exact way. So you do have to change yourself. And sometimes that means putting yourself in a better predicament, you know, um, because self care is that too.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, let's take a quick break and then we will be right back with Miss Charmaine Santos, credit
Hmm.
and financial literacy consultant.
Hey, it's your girl Lisa Dene, and I want to tell you about a product that has changed my life. Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins. Rain products are infused with a Nobel Prize winning material called graphene. It's the graphene strip that provides the various health benefits that can improve your quality of life during that time of the month. Listen, I've been very loyal to a certain brand of feminine products, but I've never experienced the results I get with Rain products. The difference is in the graphene strip. Using Rain products has totally eliminated the painful cramps I experience, and it can also help balance your body's pH, eliminate harmful bacteria, and help fight fatigue. Graphene moves heat away from your core to keep you cool and comfortable. Ladies, it's time to upgrade your feminine care with products that not only offer protection, but also improve your health and wellness. Place your order today and receive your premium sanitary napkins delivered directly to your door. Visit www.drfcare.com to make your purchase today. And don't forget to mention that your girl Lisa Dene and Stunner Radio sent you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the recipe with credit and financial literacy consultant, Mrs. Charmaine Santos. Mrs. Santos, you there?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, great, great. Well, let's get into some credit questions because I have several and I know we're not going to cover all of them, but I'm curious myself. And I know there are others that are probably curious on some of the same things. Now, I believe that credit affects wealth.
Hmm.
And I looked at the video that your company provided on your website, and it talked about how your credit score is the most important number in your financial life. So, how how can someone let's start here because you talked about okay, someone that doesn't have the best credit. What if you have a decent credit score? How can you increase that even if you have decent credit, or is that even possible?
Well, yes, of course it's possible because the thing is that just because you don't have a uh sometimes people don't have a credit score at all, and they automatically like, oh, that's a bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing. It's just about building it, and building a good credit score. You need at least two good positive lines of credit to start. And so when it comes down to looking for that, you want something with a low interest rate if you can help it, especially if you're just trying to build up. Our company actually provides a credit card that is a low interest credit card. It is no credit check on it, which is great. And so those two factors are good, and it's a fast approval. It's basically something that I utilized when I was starting off with trying to build up my credit with my husband. We were looking for a home, and my credit score was low. And so I went ahead and I applied with them. It was like $20 for the application fee. And I put down, I think, $300. And that gave me my secured credit card. And like I said, because I had a bad credit, I had low credit score, I was nervous. But because they didn't credit check me, it allowed me to be approved for that. And it goes through all three bureaus, and you have a portal that you can kind of follow in regards to it reporting to all three bureaus, so that you could see positive credit being built up there. Hmm.
Okay, a credit card where they don't check your credit first. Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely
Okay.
love that. I love that. I loved it. I loved it because it was definitely helpful. It was helpful. And a lot of people, right now with your credit check, I mean, that's the first thing that people get nervous about. They're like, oh, please don't check my credit, because a hard inquiry might be on there, and I don't need that. I already have bad credit. So, yes, it's a positive way to go ahead and start building your credit up if you don't have any, or if you're just trying to build your score up.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about credit scams and the uptick because of the pandemic, especially. Now,
Hmm.
I was watching something on Instagram where you were talking about, I believe it's called a credit sweep, and that was just one
Yes.
of many things. But can you explain that? Because I have seen
Hmm.
posts online where people are saying, hey, you can come to me and I can do a credit sweep. I'm a financial something liaison, blah, blah, blah. This is
Hmm.
good for you, da, da, da. Can you break that down? We'll start with that, and then you can get into some other things. But so, yes, let's start with the credit sweep.
Well, the thing I personally would not if I wouldn't advise any of my clients to go that route. Number one, um, it is something that is it's a quick it's a quick fix, and when you're doing a quick fix, most of the time you're running to the problem of doing that, and people think that this is a permanent situation once you go and have a credit sweep, because they are trying to remove everything all at once. Um, and the interesting thing about that is most of the time they'll go ahead and um, push for this for this process to take place, but uh, it is something that cannot be permanently removed. Sometimes those issues come right back on your credit report. So I I've seen it happen to a couple of people that I knew. Um, and I definitely cringed when I heard that people like advertise this, because it is something that is, you can go ahead and go about doing it. Some people do it, and and they're not, they're not looking at it in a legal sense, but that is something that that definitely my company will not do. We don't do that, and we don't advertise that.
Okay, so to be clear, a credit
Mhm.
sweep is where someone will look at your credit and they'll
Mhm.
try to sweep everything negative off, but they try to do it
Right.
at one time. That's what it
Mhm.
sounds like. And
Yes.
because they do it all at one time, it's really not a sweep because it can eventually come back because it's kind of flagged like it's a
Mhm.
negative to sweep everything at one
Mhm.
time. So things should come off in a certain order,
Yes,
is what you're saying.
it should come off in a certain order. I mean, our company provides that in a way of getting everything off of your credit all at once as well. They're not doing each and each thing individually. However, we leverage with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So we're a nonprofit company. When you're a nonprofit company, what does nonprofit companies usually are able to do when they have to leverage with the governmental laws that are in place? And so when you're leveraging with a nonprofit company such as ours and those governmental laws that we're heavily regulated by, we're legal and able to do so and certified to do those things, get all of those things all at once off of your credit. However, if you're doing a credit sweep, that is just pretty much erasing everything off your credit. And so you're not even establishing, you're not even establishing any record of anything. It's not
Okay.
great to just have nothing at all,
Okay.
all that stuff off and have nothing at all, because you got to start all over again. And guess what? People are going to be like, okay, it's like you got to build again,
Okay.
like you're starting all over again. So when you have things on your credit, yes, they want to see things on it.
Mhm.
However, they want to be able to get the things that are erroneous and inaccurate
Got it.
and not correct on your credit report. And that's what we do. So that's
Okay.
what makes us different from a credit suite.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for
Hmm.
clarifying that. Okay.
Hmm.
So let's talk about credit cards. And I'm not going to talk about that credit card that doesn't have a that has a low interest rate that you don't have to do a credit check on. But how do credit cards, and we know what they say, but how do credit cards really affect your credit score and purchase value? And
Yeah.
yes, and purchase value.
Well, it's very important. Your credit score, uh, depending on the circumstances, if you're a person that doesn't pay your credit card on time, it can drop your credit score 50 to 100 points. So everything that is on your credit is calculated by those three little numbers. And so those three little numbers are important. So it's very, very important that whatever you do, um, that you really, really need someone to help you to understand that the percentage of each thing that's on your credit and how it affects it. It's interesting because most people don't know that student loans take up 90% of your credit score. So if you have a bunch of student loans that are out there and you're not doing anything with them and you're not making an arrangements to pay them or whatever the case might be, 90% of your credit score is affected by your student loan. So that's just one tip, that I'm, letting you know. But that's a big, that's a huge chunk of your credit score.
What about the parents that do parent loans, like for their students, for their children to go to college? Because sometimes they do parent loans
Hmm.
rather
Hmm.
than student loans. So the parent takes out the loan on their credit for the
Right.
child's education. So
Hmm.
that affects them the same.
Pretty much, because your name is written on that document too. you know. Um, but just to be clear, I could definitely, find out the correct information on that. But I'm 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 going by the fact that because when you sign your name to that document and it's just like a car. It's a
It's a
loan is
promissory
just
note. It's a
it's kind
promissory.
yes.
Mhm,
So it's
mhm,
a legal
mhm,
document. It's
mhm,
it's something that has your signature on it.
mhm.
But I'll definitely get more clarification on it with you, Stephanie. But I believe that that is definitely something that they'll still look upon your credit, as well, because you have your name on that document, you
And you
know.
said not. You said 90%. Is that what you said?
Ninety
Just
percent.
like
Mm-hmm.
if
90%.
if I took out a student loan, that's how much it's going to
Mm-hmm.
affect my credit. Wow.
90%, 90%. Most of the time when you and
They
and
don't
and
tell you that.
actually and that's true, but it's not a bad thing in a sense when it comes to student loans if you were going about paying on them. But the interesting thing about our company is that people are paying on their student loans, but they're not being how can I say, they're not being recorded to the it's not being recorded as positive credit. As you're paying on it, it's
Okay.
still on your credit report. With our company, if you're paying on your student loans and it's not being reported, you might want to give us a call, because the thing is that it's reporting in good favor. It actually could increase your credit score
Yes.
in a positive way, but because it's on your credit report showing, it's not showing that positive credit, and
Yes.
it's just sitting there and you're making payments every single month,
Yes.
that is a problem, because no one's going to tell you that, but it's 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 looked upon in a favorable light because you are making positive credit. You're putting positive credit to your credit score, and that's because you're making that payment on that student loan in a on time and everything. But it needs to be shown, it needs to be reflected on your credit score as well. So if it's not, you need to like let us know that we can, because we can even give you a consultation about that, because it is important that you let all the credit bureaus know I'm making payments on time. My credit score needs to be reflected, and what it will happen is that we're able to remove it off your credit score, I mean credit report, in a negative light, and it will no longer show that, because when you put things on your credit report, what is it showing? It's in a negative light. Like
Correct.
so we need to remove that off your credit report, that it is no longer in a negative. There we are making positive, um, we're making positive payments to this student loan. So
Yes.
where
Yes.
our company is able to help you to have that reflected on your credit score.
Okay. I was just going to ask you about student loans, so that's perfect.
Hmm.
What about identity and credit monitoring?
Well, well, when it comes to credit, we first of all, ID theft is something that's close and dear to me because my husband had experienced that. But every 5 seconds, someone's ID or an identity is stolen. Every 5 seconds. And so, what I appreciate with this company is that um, we have that protection. When your credit score is starting to become more and more increased, most people don't think about, oh, I don't need protection on it. It's getting good now. It's looking good. Well, guess who else is watching it? Those people who are sending you things in the mail for, hey, you need a credit card? I didn't ask for a credit card, but you're getting those things in the mail and things like that. So people are noticing, because the credit bureaus report and and they share your information to one
Okay.
another. And
Okay.
so when it comes down to that, people are not thinking about their credit needing protection, but your credit does need protection, because you get scammed on Instagram most of the time. You get scammed on Facebook and all these little small little social media sectors. And the thing is that what's even more scary is that how can they sometimes your credit card is linked to your Facebook. Sometimes your Instagram is linked to your credit card or whatever,
Hmm. Hmm. That's
in your
right.
account.
Right.
So
Hmm.
you know why wouldn't you want protection? Our company is able to provide that. So as we're working on your credit, you're also having your credit protected. And I love that, because when me and my husband were building up our credit, um, I was like, oh my goodness, our credit is looking good. I sure don't want nobody touching my credit score right now. You know what I mean? But I didn't even have to worry about that, Stephanie. I didn't have to lose sleep over that, because our company was able to provide protection the whole duration of our process of getting our home. So I didn't have to worry about somebody else trying to buy a home and their name underneath us while we're trying to get our credit together. So the credit ID and credit monitoring that we have is a protection for all our clients, for all our agents. It's award winning one, because I've never felt protected in my life than I did at that time when I was getting my credit repaired.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, what about planning for unexpected events? And I'm going to be specific. Many
Hmm.
people don't know the difference between a will, a trust, and a power of attorney. Many people feel, okay, and this is if they have a will. Well, I actually have a
Hmm.
will, so I'm good.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't need a trust or a power of attorney. Do you
Hmm.
can you explain the difference?
When it comes to a will and a trust, well, we already know a will and a trust is pretty much a document that is something that will have all your information on it that you want your family to respectfully abide and honor in case of an emergency or case of death. So, that's what a will is. And a trust, pretty much, the same thing. It has all your money in there where your family is able to know where your money and, your finances are, and those are the two things that our company is able to provide all our clients, all our customers. I like the fact that we have a will and trust because we have so many people who we've watched through celebrities and things like that on TV. We idolize all these people from Prince to Aretha to you name it. And so none of these people had their documents in place at their time of death, and so they have family fighting over their money and all of these different things. But when you have something like that in place in case of a death or an event of an emergency, that is something that right now with the COVID thing, a lot of people were losing their lives unexpectedly. And so I even lost a friend of mine, an agent. And so when it came down to her having the will and trust, she didn't even get a chance to even utilize it. She died the before she could like the money was able to kick in, because I was really helping her to get into the program to help her with her credit, and she was able to have all of that, the will and the trust, and she actually had a life insurance policy through us for on the agent side. And so well, it's very important to have that will and trust in place, because we know that is something that we don't think about, but I mean, life is not promised. So it's always good to have it. And it's no cost. I know for me, when I'm working for my when I was working for my, employer, I was paying for my will and trust or my insurance. With
Correct.
us, it comes with the services.
Okay. Okay.
For free. It comes with the service.
So if I were a prospective client and you and I sat down, we had a consultation and we agreed that this is a good fit, how will our relationship work?
Well, one thing I know for me personally, as an agent, this is my business. Me and my husband got an LLC through this company. And so this is like my baby, because I look at it like that, because I'm nurturing it. I put all my time and my hard work into everything I do anyway. But at the same time, my relationships with people are just as important. So when it comes down to customer relationships and things like that, I'm building a relationship with these people. I'm building trust with these people, and I honor that and to a high degree, because my name is out there, And so when it comes down to helping people and having that relationship build, it doesn't go just from me helping them with their credit or whatever. It goes far beyond that, because guess what? They're able to, have a relationship with not just me. They'll refer me to friends of friends of theirs, family members, and on and on. So my relationship with people is an one-on-one, but strong, and a very, let's just put it this way, it's more family oriented, because like soon as I get with someone and they become my client, I'm like, you're my sister, or you my brother, or and I look at that in a very I look at that in a, in a sense of that being a very important thing to me, because they're able to feel that trust, and you want them to feel that trust. They're literally giving you their information when it comes to their finances and their personal information to help them build their credit up and so forth. So you want those relationships to be very, very close, as you're helping people. It has to be, it has to be, because people want to trust you, and that's something that the world lacks. They lack trust.
Yes. And I believe in this field, you definitely need to establish trust, because we've already talked about how, people are already afraid to consult with someone on credit because you have to give that part of your information to them. I mean, do
Yes, you
you,
do.
I really have to have that trust with you to give you
Hmm.
my social security number.
Exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I literally, that's why at the end of the day, I'm like, before they even, sit down and talk with me, I'm like, I'm not just gonna get straight to the I was like, tell me. I want to know, give me your story. I want to know what's going on personally, what happened, what placed you in this predicament, and what we can do to help you. It's all about, you know, building that firm relationship. Most people don't know that when it comes to business, they 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 don't think that having a relationship with someone is important. They're like, oh, it's just business. I'm like, no, no, no. You have to build a relationship and a rapport with people before you do anything. It's
Agree,
important.
agree.
Hmm.
Well, let's take a quick break and then we will be back with Miss Charmaine Santos, credit
Mhm.
and financial literacy consultant.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, comedian actress Coca Brown. And I got to give a huge shout out to my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie, because she put me on. What? To the Jewel sanitary napkin. These babies are amazing. Not only are they good to me, they're good for me. Not only do they help with absorption, moisture control, and protection, because yes, sometimes I like to wear white, but these babies also have a great ingredient called graphene that helps with cramps. Huh? Are you kidding me? So you're telling me that I'm protected and I can control my moods a little bit? I love it. So please make sure you hit up my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie. They have a variety of sizes for every kind of flow, whether it's heavy, light, overnight, she got you. So make sure you hit up my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie, and get you some Jewel sanitary napkins today. I strongly endorse these, honey, especially if you're like me. You need all the help you can get for that time of the month. All right?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the recipe with credit and financial literacy consultant, Mrs. Charmaine Santos. Miss Santos, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, great, great. So, just a few more questions. We've got a few minutes left. I wanted to state that I personally believe that wealth is more. It's about more than dollars in your portfolio. So, how, based on your position as a credit and financial literacy consultant, how can you help build wealth in other areas of your life? How does what you do, because again, there are people that may want to figure out, obviously, how to buy a home. You talked about that, how to get my kids through college, how to start a new business. I'm passionate about, doing something, on the side, or even, getting to the point where I can stop and retire
Hmm.
from this job and do
Hmm.
something that I'm passionate about. How
Hmm.
can what you do help them in those areas?
Okay, so I definitely will say that in well, nowadays it seems as though you need more than one income. And I think that because of the change in this whole situation lately that we all have been accustomed to, it's called the new normal. We've had to re-examine our finances as well as our income. And so the company that I'm affiliated with, like, is so instrumental in helping us all to become able to bring in another stream of income where it doesn't really affect what we're currently doing now. Um, because, like I told you in the beginning, me and my husband came on as agents and not just trying to get our credit together. We came in as independent agents, and representatives to this company because of all of the wonderful things that we saw with the company, and the six different ways that we could get paid with this company, which was amazing to me because I was like, six different ways. Oh, um, a lot of times we will tell someone, about, hey, go over here to this car shop or go over here to this nail shop and let them know that I referred you. Well, basically, in so many ways, that is what I am. I am a referral agent. And what I do is I am able to bring people to our company to get those services that I was explaining earlier that we provide. And I get paid for it. I get compensated for that. Now, I don't know about you. Every time I tell somebody about my hairdresser, I don't get paid. She don't tell me, Pearl, I got a check for you right here. Uh it'd be nice if she did. You know what I mean?
You're
Or
right.
my nail specialist or whatever. And even so forth and so on. I mean, people aren't getting paid to refer people, but this company is enabling you to actually get compensated every time someone is referred to them to get their services done through them. And so that is the business that I am affiliated with on the side of being an independent agent. Along with that, we were able to get a life insurance policy with our company. It goes up from, it starts at 10,000, it goes up to 100,000. And it's not coming out of my money to pay for. The company actually cares enough about us as agents that they want to provide a life insurance policy for us, to make sure that we're okay and that our um, our families will be okay if something was to happen to us. I didn't get that with my employer. And so I always think about, too, your employer will never pay you enough to live next to them, to be their neighbor. And so I looked at that and I saw that quote from my mentor, and I thought to myself, that is so true, because when it comes down to making extra income, it is something that most people want, but they just don't know how to obtain it. And so, you work so hard, and sometimes people retire with work, from their jobs of 13, 20, 30 years. And when they leave those jobs, they still wind up where? At Walmart, Publix, something like that, trying
Or they
to,
have to work longer, or they have to
yeah.
work longer, and they can't retire actually when they want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I started thinking about that in a sense of, what do I want to do with my future in regards to, what do I want to do with my job situation? Am I going to do this for so much more longer, where I don't have that time freedom, where I don't have enough income, money saved up, or income coming in, and all of these other things? Because when the pandemic was going, when we were going through that, my job, because I was doing this part time, my job pretty much had us out from March all the way up until August the next school year. And so we had literally people panicking, that I knew, that were like, how in the world am I going to feed my family? But during that duration, my husband and I were bringing in income from the company, and addition to what we had, and we were still able to keep our head above water. And that was a game changer for me, because I said to myself, I'm like, man, I'm glad I never, overlook the fact that I should have, not have signed up to be an agent, because this really kept food on the table. Extra, little, extra $100 came, and went a long way. Went a long way. So I look at this opportunity as a game changer for those who are trying to strive to work from home, make a little extra income, have time freedom with their family, and eventually, depending on what they do, they can add this into what they already do. That could be an accountant, because it's dealing with finances. That can be anyone dealing with people who have to be approved, real estate agents, you know, um, and the list goes on and on and on. Anyone who's dealing with people who need their credit repaired, this company is exceptional in providing that extra supplement of income coming in, with it not interrupting what they normally do or what they currently are doing.
Okay. Okay. Now, just a couple of more questions. I know you've talked about, the company and what it does and the benefits, and that's great. So, for you personally, how do you measure success? You personally.
Hmm. I measure success. That's a good question. Ah, I guess when I measure success, I think about myself helping. others because I've always been a person to help other people. I don't feel like I am successful until I hear someone call me and say, Pearl, I got approved for a home because of your company. Or, Pearl, I got off of Section 8 because of your company. Or
Okay.
I'm able to change my whole life because I'm able to bring in extra income to my family, or my credit score went up, you know. So my success does not come from me just doing what I'm doing. It comes from other people's becoming successful, which makes me feel good because I know that that's a blessing. I know that I'm providing a service and it's working and it's helpful. And so my blessings don't come from, just me myself. It comes from me having the willingness to help out and the passion to help out other people and help them to be successful too. So that's where it really generates from, just helping people and having that, that love and that passion to continue to do so.
All right. All right. How how can individuals reach out to you for more information, a consultation, or even about how to become a credit and financial consultant?
Well, I definitely will say my husband and I have our own website, which is Second Chance Financial Solutions. That's our LLC. And that is on my Instagram as well as my Facebook. I have a link tree. So I have, and I'll probably definitely can be looked up. Second Chance Financial Solutions is also, something that you can Google. You can Google us. So, definitely, those are my, where those are my areas of where you can find me. I'm not that hard to find and not that hard to find, I promise. Because I know sometimes people, it's kind of hard out there.
Yes.
You're going to look up someone when it comes to credit, but you're never going to find at least, certain people under credit. Ours is more of a financial literacy company, what we do, but like I said, those are my handles right there on the screen that was shown. But I'm not too hard to find, I promise. You can always reach out to me
Awesome.
on those in those social media areas in that platform. I think I'm under Charmaine Credit Advocate on Instagram, and then I'm under Charmaine Santos on Facebook. But yes, definitely. If you have any questions or concerns, my consultations are free. They do not cost. They do not cost not one penny, because the information I'm giving you is free in regards to the consultations. And sometimes they're just 10, 15 minutes at the most. So, and I know people's time is very precious. So I try to keep that in mind. So I really make sure that I you know, emphasize that in
Okay.
regards to, mm-hmm.
Well, Ms. Santos, I just want to say thank you for providing more opportunities within our community to not just help with financial decisions and opportunities, but to educate, because I think that's so key again, is that we are able to learn about our own finances, our own credit, and how to manage money better so that we
Mm-hmm.
can equip the next generation to actually do the same thing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I appreciate you offering me the opportunity to speak on your platform about this. So thank you so much, Stephanie.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, that was Ms. Charmaine Santos, credit and financial literacy consultant, and I thank her for taking time out of her day to connect on the recipe. Before I go, if you are on Instagram, please consider connecting to my IG Live tonight at 9 p.m. as I top off the night with a final serving of health and wellness in the area of feminine health care. And for any men out there, please do not shy away from this topic, because if you have important women in your life, you also need to know about this information. That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this segment of the recipe with Ms. Charmaine Santos. And now I'm going to allow singer, songwriter, television personality, and founding member of Sisters with Voices, Lily from SWV, to provide her endorsement of Rain, previously known as Jewel Feminine Care. See you next time on The Recipe as I bring you all of the ingredients for living your best life.
And the packaging, it says Jewel on it. And she sent me so many different, it's for moderate flow, heavy flow. Hold on. And this was my favorite.
That is my favorite. That is my favorite.
I can always appreciate an overnight, but what I was really impressed by was the length, how long it was.
And how it's not as thick.
If you guys still get those monthly friends, sometimes that thing could just be out of control and never do what you asked it to do. It'd be all over the place. But honestly, I had absolutely no problems at all. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate this product so good, because a lot of people, they want to send you stuff, and it's like, okay, you want to believe in everybody, but everybody's product is not a good product, especially something when it comes to feminine hygiene and sanitary this and you got to be very careful, because sometimes, whatever the stuff is made with, it don't always agree with your body chemistry. But I had absolutely no problems, and I wouldn't even say this if I didn't mean it. I gave the girls in my podcast, they use it. My podcast member, she don't even use sanitary napkins. She's like a tampon girl. Mm-hmm. But she really appreciated this, and I thought, I have to tell you this. I couldn't wait to get on here to tell you this. So for everybody that's on here that's still going through them, getting those monthly visitors, please support Dr. Finnie's business. I tried it myself, and I loved it.
Wow.
Thank you.